What it do, everybody? It's your boy LG from Where There's Smoke. Kind of was thinking about doing this last night and then even earlier today. But I kind of crashed out earlier. Was I guess needing some sleep. Uh, and if I was on earlier, I could have Mr. Joe Games on, so that's unfortunate. But anyway, I wanted to go live, give my opinion, and kind of shoot the shit about the unfortunate Charlie Kirk situation. Um, I don't feel like I'm gonna say too much that hasn't been said elsewhere, but I am gonna go over some of the kind of conspiracy theories, give my opinion, kind of ask some questions, and say some things that um, might not get said other places, and kind of ask the questions that are the hard questions and that people might be willing to ask in a month down the road. But a month down the road, respectfully, people are gonna have moved on to other things, and even though it might be less touchy down the road, and people would be more likely to ask the harder questions. Then I want to ask those kind of questions now when it's still fresh on our mind, it's still prudent, and everything's still fresh, and we can still remember what the hell's going on with this thing. So, um, it's kind of the theme of the channel to kind of have the hard discussions and ask the hard questions and get to the bottom of things as much as we can and that sort of thing. So, as usual, I'm going to check the audio and check the video on YouTube, Rumble, Kick. Um, Feel free to watch it on YouTube as always. That's where most people are. But, if you're a Kick person or if you prefer Rumble, who's more of a free speech thing, and on the occasion that YouTube shuts us down, we'll still be on Rumble. So, we're on multiple platforms for y'all. And, you can watch us wherever. Let me go check out the audio and video, and then we'll get into it. What's that binging? Or if you prefer Rumble, YouTube sounding good. I don't feel like I'm gonna. Or if you prefer Rumble sounding good, Rumble sounding good, and Kick sounds good. All right, dope. Um, let's see. Let me pull up some of the stuff I have. Let me see what I want to watch first here. Um, let's see. First, I kind of want to watch a couple of videos where people are sharing and say this is why we weren't like sad to see him go, or like even maybe happy to see him go, even though I don't think that's justified. Here's a few videos of people debating him and saying, okay, this is why we don't like him. This is why we were more or less okay with it. Yada yada yada. So let's watch these videos, see if that was justified, which I don't think it was or is, but I'll watch them and just see what he said, see if it was bold enough to even, you know. Anyway, we'll get into more of that later. Let's just see what he said and let the man speak for himself. Let me pull this up so y'all can see it. And let me pull the stream up on my phone too. That way I have the chat more accessible. I didn't sign into Rumble chat today because rarely anyone. I feel like there's been one video where people were active on Rumble chat, which I appreciate, but normally people aren't. So, okay. Cool. Got the YouTube chat pulled up over here. Well, I guess I do have something to drink for now. Yeah, should be good. Let's get into it. Cool. And the title of this video is called "This Is Why We Don't Care."
Reparations have been given to other ethnic groups, Asian Americans for their incarceration during World War II, Native Hawaiians. Sorry, I wrote it all down, but even former slave owners, specifically the ones in the North that had to give up their slaves, they were compensated for former slaves. However, why is it that when it comes to black people receiving reparations, there seems to be a lot of pushback to the point where now, now it's almost laughable to even think about black people getting reparations for something in the past.
Well, for any of those examples, was there intergenerational reparations given?
No,
So
I
they're
don't
not
think so.
necessarily applicable, right? So those were the actual people that received it because a wrong was
Correct.
done to them. We're
Correct.
talking about something 150 years removed. And also, not every black person is a descendant of slaves.
Correct.
Some are mixed race, some are able to prove that. But I think more importantly, we should ask the question, have we spent a lot of money on the black community the last 50 years? And if so, has it worked?
It's a good question because, I mean, obviously there are certain communities in Black America that are not so great. You know, some of them, some of the traumas and problems they have are of their own making. I acknowledge that.
I do want to just repeat the point, and something to think about, you don't have to answer it, that we've spent trillions of dollars on trying to improve the well-being of black Americans since the 1960s. And actually, black America is poorer per capita and on average in relation to other groups than it was in the 1960s. So I would argue it's actually not a resource or a money thing, it's a values thing. And the values, unfortunately, that are predominantly in the black community right now are quasi-suicidal.
Fair point. Reparations have been given to other.
Yeah, I do. I don't know how that money is given and allocated, and I would be surprised if it was done in a very productive way. But also, it's like when there's gun problems, like with this guy getting shot, or mass shootings, or the killings in Chicago with gang violence, or whatever. It's not a gun problem. It's a morals problem, and it's a soul and a heart problem. Like we have a problem in this country where our morals are getting worse, people's soul and spiritual and like just people's like internal world that is getting worse and worse on average in America, and I don't know why. I mean I know some reasons, but it's just unfortunate, and we're not focusing on that. We're saying, oh, it's a gun problem, or it's a this problem, it's a that problem. We need reparations. What, like, I just think we need to get closer to God and ask ourselves. That's what I think. The people that are in charge, they're doing a lot of things to push us away from God and get us more depressed and um just more irritated, um less focused, just a combination of all these things, but to push you further and further away from God and further away from peace and further away from a positiveness. You see, everyone wants everything instantly. Everyone wants to just gratify themselves and doesn't give a f about anyone else. All these things that are not positive, you see really being pushed, and we need to slow down and think about if that's, you know, all these things that are okay in today's society that we think are good, are they really good, and kind of what the net of them is. Um, you know, in today's world, everything we want is super easy, but things that are easy aren't really respected. And when you get something easy, you don't really like. There's a difference when you have to work hard and get something and you feel good about it versus when something just comes to you, you don't really respect it or appreciate it. And then it does something else to you too, not just related with that thing, but it's there. It does something to you when everything in life you get is easy and you never have to work hard. That does something to you. So I feel like in today's society, we want everything easy, everything easy, everything easy. Well, if you get your job is easy, you're not going to respect the job. And then you get your car given to you by your parents, you're not going to respect the car. And people just give you everything, you're not going to respect. But after a while, it's not just going to, like I said, it's not just going to relate to the one thing that you don't respect or appreciate. It's going to affect your internal because you haven't had to appreciate or respect anything. And I think we're seeing more and more of that today. And that's why there's more and more problems. And, anyway, I kind of went off topic, but yeah, I don't know. This was an interesting one. I don't know. I don't really think reparations are a good idea or a realistic thing. I think that's people kind of wanting the government to do something that God can only correct. They want the government to take care of something only God can really justify and take care of. Um I was kind of thinking about what I was going to compare this to earlier, and it's almost like if someone gets their relative killed, their relative just killed. Like they don't get no reparation for them losing their relative. So, I don't know. I just don't think you can count on the government to right all their wrongs when they're doing more and more wrong all the time.
Ethnic groups Asian Americans for their incarceration during World War II, Native Hawaiians. Sorry, I wrote it all down, but even former.
Even if we did give reparations to all the descendants of slaves, how would we decide how much? And then, like, I feel like they would get it, and within 20 years, all that money would be gone. Like, so, I mean, and maybe not, but if the people are not on a positive vibe, and if they're like not gonna save it or pull together and buy something and invest in something good for themselves and their community, if they're just gonna blow it on cars, food, luxurious vacations, clothes, whatever. And this is not a race thing. This is a mentality of like the people at the bottom thing, including me and my family and everyone I know. Like, are we going to continue to spend the money? So, like, these descendants of slaves, they could get this money, but if their mindset's not healthy and positive and vibing right, they're just going to either keep the money to themselves, being greedy, or they're going to blow it on something dumb. And then what good is it going to do anyway? So it kind of goes back to the point I was trying to make earlier of where I think it's a mindset thing, and I think it's a our morals are deteriorating thing. And I guess probably people in the African American community would push back and say, well, we tried to do something with Black Wall Street back in the day where we were vibing positive, we did something for self and community, and it got tore down by losers. And I would agree. So it's just like, man, good shit tries to get going and it never succeeds, and it's kind of like lame. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to like do the good thing, because you know talking to everyone out there and talking to myself too, just because good doesn't always prevail and it's harder for it to prevail doesn't mean it's not the fight worth fighting for. I don't want to be on like the lame evil side that's doing shitty stuff. I don't give a fuck if that's what everybody else is doing. I don't care if that's the side that's up 100 million points. Fuck that. I want to do the hard thing. That's the fucking better thing. So anyway, that's what I'm about having discussions here at this channel. As you know, if you're a fan of the channel, I'm about being proven wrong. And I don't know what happened with this Charlie Kirk thing. I'm not a fan of him. If you really know me and know the channel, I'm a skeptic, and I'm skeptical of all the politicians and all these big talking heads and everyone that's in the system. Like, if you're a voter, I'm and someone that's has a big platform, I'm not gonna be agreeing with you probably. So anyway, just getting that out there. Kind of rambled on with some different points, but I guess I'll play out the rest of this video one more time and just kind of maybe see if I can actually comment on this video specifically instead of rambling about other thoughts that I'm having. But anyway.
Slave owners, specifically the ones in the North that had to give up their slaves. They were compensated for former slaves. However, why is it that when it comes to black people receiving reparations, there seems to be a lot of pushback to the point where now, now it's almost laughable to even think about black people getting reparations for something in the past?
Well, for any of those examples, was there
I guess I'm not against it, but I just think it is against my natural beliefs for the government to try to justify things. I just don't believe that that's how things should go in life. But if they were going to do it, I'd be fine with that. But how do you decide how much? And, again, they could give every slave descendant 100,000 or whatever. But if they don't have a good head on their shoulders and a good spirit, they're going to just lose it. And money only does but so much. We've seen really rich people that are terrible people, and they don't do it. Their lives are worthless, even though they have money. Someone that comes to mind that I just saw recently he was on Joe Rogan today, is Charlie Sheen. Like, this dude just drugged out, fucking a bunch of whores, not really a good person or positively impacting other people's lives, but he's rich. It's like, does the money really doesn't make you a good person or make the person? So to quote John Wayne, even though he's cheesy Illuminati bot, money don't make the man. That's what I think he said that in a movie. But the sentiment is money doesn't make the person. So you can get all this money. Is it really going to change what you're going to do? Who you're going to positively impact? If you're going to be good to be around? If you're going to be someone that's a leader amongst your people? That money is not going to change that. Because we all know someone who has money and is like a goofy nerd, or like not a leader. Like money doesn't make you a leader. Money doesn't make you smart. Money doesn't make you anything. So anyway, would reparations be nice? Yeah. How would it get used? You know what I mean? So anyway, let's move on to the next video. Let me turn the sound on. Y'all get in the comments and let me know what y'all's opinions are. Obviously, they're probably not going to be the same as mine, or they could be. But if you have something to combat what I say, or just something totally different that I'm not thinking of, or whatever, give me your comments. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say about this. All right, let's play the next video.
People get reparations.
I believe they should.
So I, white man, have to play for black people. Why?
Wow, that's a really selfish thing you
No,
just said.
hold on. Why should I have...
That's a really non-empathetic thing to
Wait,
say.
why should I have empathy for a race? I have white guilt because I breathe? Why should the white students here have to work harder to pay for black kids?
You wanted to ask
What is that all about?
Not every black person has lineage connected to slaves.
That's
and
true.
every white person doesn't have lineage connected to slaves.
Yes, that's right. So since every black person doesn't have a lineage connected to slaves, why should we generalize and say reparations for black people?
Because there are people that are in a worse place.
So over 150 years, they didn't have any ability to make better decisions, to save money, and to invest. How about you take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming the white man? Should black people get reparations?
I don't know. You know, it's like I said earlier, if someone's family member dies, how come they don't get paid from the government? The government cannot right every wrong, and nor do they care to. They can't right every wrong for everyone that ever died or every person that ever lost something. Like, it would be nice, but that's just not how life works. Like, you can't go back and undo stuff. You can't. How do you put a value on what you deserve? It's kind of a silly idea.
No.
Why?
Of course not.
And I think, yeah, man, I don't know.
Because parents should feed their kids, not the government.
What if they can't?
Go get a job.
A child? You
No,
want
the
child
parents should go get the job.
Yeah.
This is important.
They,
I don't believe...
they have jobs and they can't support their children there because the minimum wage is so low.
No, you are a dumb dude. Don't give me this stuff.
Truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being. This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin fetus.
Though is this woke stuff that would like take your breath away. I mean, research into transgender mice. I mean, it was just the U.S. taxpayer dollars should be funding that.
See, I called that out on my show. That was, it wasn't transgender. See, that worries me about you, Charlie. You seem to have swallowed that one whole like a snake does a mouse without looking into it. It was transgenic mice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, everybody, a
It was transgenic.
lot of people are going to be saying happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day. Okay, everybody.
Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot
Yeah, he was getting some borderline racist stuff and trying to be irritant at times.
I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that? And the data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened?
A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh, wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder.
Yeah, DEI stands for
one of the biggest.
didn't earn it, just so we're clear.
Can we also acknowledge, due to the laws under Jim Crow, that black people were significantly hindered from economic
Got it.
advancement?
This is a really important question. The data shows not really. Black Americans are poorer today in 2024 than they were in the 1950s. The disappearance of the black father has been the #1 driver of black poverty in this country. We at least agree that black dads not being around is a bad thing.
Anyone's father not being around is a bad. Starting in the 1980s and continuing onward, there's been a war on drugs. Is this correct?
I
Would you-
like the war on drugs. Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. That's not a war on drugs, that's a culture problem. Why are so many blacks committing murders outside of their population?
Yeah, but there's things you got to look at. Like there's like way more liquor stores in the black communities. There's like the cops police the black communities different. They have gerrymandering where they won't let African Americans live in certain communities. Like, they want to go, oh, the black man, they just not doing too good. It's like, yeah, but why? There's been circumstances that have been against them. I mean, come on, bro. Let's tell the whole story.
So we've spent $20 trillion on uplifting black communities, $20 trillion, and black Americans are poor. Food stamps, subsidized housing, Medicaid, public schooling, subsidized college. We're talking about $20 trillion that has been spent on the Great Society, and yet black America is poorer, more murderous, more dangerous.
Part of
what does
equity
equity mean?
is
you mean taking
allowed-
from other people?
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live when I believe. No. What do I do? I get charity every single year.
Crime, like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified.
Why did he fucking say that? Oh, brother. Well, we get the good, bad, and the ugly here, folks. We're not here to cap or suck anyone off.
I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman. I
mean, that sounds terrible out of context. The other pilot thing, it's like, I don't know if that was out of context.
Is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian?
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Oh, that sounds rough, and I've heard several people quoting that.
That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. Have a cost.
Appendix, and you're a black lesbian?
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at base?
I wish I could have heard the end of that. Wow. Oof. Okay. I wish I had another video to go with this one. But there's been some thought amongst people that potentially he was killed by Israel. And I don't know what part of this video. My buddy showed me this video. Shout out Matt. He's on the first few episodes of the podcast, friend of the channel. He was showing me today. It was like a clip from this video, I think, where Kirk was saying something kind of like maybe we shouldn't be supporting Israel as fiercely or whatever the heck, just like kind of withdrawing support for Israel. And Ben Shapiro just like looked at him like, what? I almost want to see if I can find it in the transcript. Let's see. Israel's probably gonna be all through this damn thing. Yeah. Let's watch a little bit. This is like a day or two old. This was posted like a day ago. 2 days ago, a day before the assassination. Let's watch.
Democratic values guide how you invest your money and save for your future. With who wants to monorail.com.
Hamas be defeated. So we've seen news this morning that quite honestly I'm a little confused by, and I was hoping you could navigate it and help us understand, which is that Israel bombed Qatar, which houses a lot of Hamas officials. What happened here? And if I were to introduce just the skeptical question, will this potentially endanger America's own interest in the Middle East? So please, Ben, help me better understand the situation.
Sure. So I think that the lead up to understand here is that Qatar sort of plays both sides when it comes to its negotiating stance between Hamas and Israel and the United States. So it has provided extraordinary material support to Hamas directly, billions of dollars in material support to Hamas. The leadership of Hamas have been living in Qatar for years at five-star hotels, Hamas's priorities have been pressed by Qatar in negotiations multiple times. Qatar has not put significant pressure on Hamas in the past to release the hostages or to end the war. And so basically, as Israel nears the end of the war, which is what this last movement in Gaza City is supposed to be, there's a final offer that was put on the table actually by the Trump administration that essentially said that Hamas should release the remaining 48 hostages, meaning 28 dead bodies and 20 alive hostages, and the United States would then guarantee, through its own honest brokerage, some sort of end to the war that would result in the disarming of Hamas and movement of the Gaza Strip to presumably some sort of coalitional government supported by regional states and the rebuilding of the area. And Qatar was pushing Hamas, apparently, we heard. And Hamas this morning in Arabic actually rejected it. That's not been widely reported by the media, but it's true. Hamas actually rejected the American offer. The president had put out via Truth Social a statement saying, this is your last chance, and if you don't do that, bad things are going to happen. The idea that Israel would be able to fly 10 F-16s all the way across the Middle East to Qatar to strike a very specific terror target in Doha without American knowledge beggars the imagination. It is extraordinarily unlikely, to say the very least. Honestly, it would not be wildly improbable if Qatar knew that that was coming as well. And so Israel struck at the top level of the remaining Hamas in Qatar in an attempt to basically change the negotiating status. So the basic idea here is if you will not negotiate, if you refuse to get to the end of this war, well, then maybe we'll find somebody who can. Or maybe the idea is that you're safe nowhere until this war ends. Additional pressure had to be brought to bear, and that's why Israel did what it did. Obviously, I, as well, am on Team Civilization. I'm very happy to see Hamas's top leaders killed. I hope that as many of them in the leadership, with as little loss of civilian life as possible, I hope that as many of them died in this attack as humanly possible. And again, I'd be very surprised. I mean, we do know, actually, from contemporaneous reporting that the United States was at least given the heads up on the Israeli operation in the moments before it went.
I just spent time in Japan, and one of the things that kind of looms over Japan is that Japan, they engaged in an unconditional surrender, that they said, we're done. And they laid down their arms, obviously, after the 2 atomic bombs. Very controversial. People have mixed opinions on it. I certainly do. But that it is unconditional surrender. Is that what Israel is aiming for here? I suppose that is a question that I get a lot on campus. What does success look like? Because I think we could all agree a long war is not good for Israel, a long, drawn-out war. And we're coming towards 2 years in about a month. So it's been about 23 months. So what does ultimate success look like in the Gaza Strip?
Now, my main critique of the Netanyahu administration in Israel and the Netanyahu government is they didn't move faster. I think this should have been a much more accelerated process. Israel set out at the beginning of this war with 2 goals, as articulated by the Israeli government. Goal number 1 was to get as many hostages out as humanly possible, to free the hostages, and second was to win the war. In many ways, those are mutually exclusive goals, because if you actually wish to win the war, then you have to do things militarily that are going to involve actual movement on the ground. And meanwhile, Hamas is attempting to basically use the hostages as its own form of human shields. They use their own civilians as human shields. They're also using the hostages as a form of human shield. And so as you came to the end of the war, this is always going to be the question, is how the war kind of came to its final terminus. The priorities that Netanyahu has laid out publicly include essentially, basically, it's let the hostages out, and there can't be a future military threat to Israel. Those are, if you had to sum it all up, those are the 2 things. How that materializes, in my opinion, is likely to be an Israeli military occupation of large swaths of the Gaza Strip, the setting up of humanitarian areas, particularly on the coast and in Rafah, in which humanitarian aid is provided, a pathway out for people who actually want to leave. This is the only conflict of which I'm aware on planet Earth in which there are outside countries telling people who would like to leave that they literally cannot. The Trump administration has been trying to facilitate the ability of people who want to leave to do so, and has also been trying to facilitate the entry of not only humanitarian aid, but investment into the areas that have been cleared of terrorists, and then you can see some sort of Hamas-free rebuilding. That would be
hopefully it gets to the part
the goal of
that
the
I
end
wanted
of
to see
the war. Now, my understanding is that the sort of last untouched area of the Gaza Strip, in terms of Israeli couple of weeks,
this situation. I know that it's impossible for anyone to listen to everything that you ever say, but looking at this from an American perspective, what else would you say things could have been handled differently? Maybe on the PR front, maybe also just on a conduct front. Where would you say, as an outsider, things that could have been handled better, more efficiently, or with more precision?
So number one, there's no such thing as a perfect war. So obviously in any war, there are going to be things that happen that are ugly and that are terrible. And that is why war is a terrible thing. As far as a sort of operational front, again, I've spent an awful lot of time in Israel. I've watched tape of operations happening, drone operations. I've met with an enormous number of Israeli soldiers. Israel has complete air superiority over more, and any war is perfect. This war has been conducted in about as meticulous way as any urban war, better, kinder way. Iraq, it's true in Afghanistan, it's true in Ukraine, it's true that any ally of the United States can sustain long operations like the one that Israel has been performing in the Gaza Strip in the most damaging genocide. Typically a genocide, daily caloric in during Rwanda. And I get that. I understand. Nobody likes war. Nobody wants war. Certainly not the Israelis who are not at war on October 6th. The fact is whether the accusations are...
Because there is an incessant campaign. And one thing a friend said to me, interestingly, which is, okay, Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, on it's like maybe we should also.
I think this is it. I'm gonna slow it down to one, just regular speed instead of 1.25, and I think this is the part that I was looking for. Let's watch.
Questions on Israel. I think it's very important for our audience to hear this, though, because they're author, Ben Shapiro, author of Lions and Scavengers. We're going to get to that in a second. I have one or two other questions on Israel. I think it's very important for our audience to hear this, though, because there is an incessant campaign. And one thing a friend said to me, interestingly, which is, okay, Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, so like maybe we should also ask a question: is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So
Why,
Ben,
Charlie, what are you saying?
some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your opinion, what would a good outcome 5 years from now be, and how does one respond to the claims of ethnic cleansing?
So ethnic cleansing, the idea, presumably, that population movement is equivalent to ethnic cleansing. I think ethnic cleansing is a term that's been fairly recently coined to describe population movement during war. And the reality is that's been ongoing for literally all of human history. The idea that Israel is, quote unquote, forcing people out of the Gaza Strip, that is not the stated policy of the Israeli government. The idea is if people want to leave, they can, but they're not being forced to leave. Again, moving people out of heavily urbanized areas that are honeycombed with terrorist booby traps pretty much everywhere is not the same thing as, quote unquote, ethnic cleansing. And I think that ethnic cleansing is very often used as sort of a softer form of the genocide attack. The idea being that Israel is trying to kill everyone, which of course is not true. As far as your earlier question about what we believe from the media, one of the things that I find kind of astonishing in some of the folks on the right who are highly critical of Israel is actually the lack of the lack of skepticism when it comes to legacy media. Legacy media are radically anti-Israel overall. The New York Times can certainly not be accused of being a pro-Israel outlet. It'd be very difficult to make the
I don't know about legacy media being anti-Israel there, buddy.
accusation that the Associated Press, which has worked hand in glove with Hamas for years, or Reuters.
It's pretty hush-hush. They just don't really want to be talked about. Like I feel like the legacy media usually honors that. Anyway, I just thought that was a funny moment right there where he said, do we feel like we're being told the honest truth about Israel from the media? And you could tell he didn't really like that. Let's watch it one more time. Where was it? Right here. Right here, I think.
On the border, so like maybe we should also ask a question: is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So Ben, some people would accuse.
He didn't like that. All right, let's move on to this. I haven't seen this yet, so no telling. What do I have after this? Some reactions and then some video. We'll break down just how legitimate the whole thing was.
Are you concerned for your own safety?
Not really. I'm really.
Not really. After they missed the air, they can't really get me. What a bot.
Concerned for our country. We have a great country. We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country. Yeah.
Mr. President, how do you want to see your supporters respond to this? Charlie Kirk was a big advocate of nonviolence and free speech on campus. How do you want your supporters to respond, sir?
I think that way. He was.
Bro, can't they shut that damn plane or helicopter down, or at least have like a little room they can step in to have this little quick? If they know every time Trump comes in from the plane or whatever, he might give us a minute or two. Can't they have like a little building for that? I mean, damn, they're just out here on the street right by the fucking plane or airplane or helicopter or plane or whatever. It's like, come on, dude.
He's an advocate of.
And look at this at the bottom: manhunt underway for shooter in Charlie Kirk killing. Dude, here's another thing to consider, because we're about to talk about all the little details of this and kind of just ask a lot of questions and kind of wait to see what answers they provide. When it came down to all the different Trump assassinations, within 24 hours they had something. With this, it's 24 hours, we have nothing. So that's an interesting thing right there that kind of insinuates that just from outside noob looking in, and we're all, backseat reporters at this point. It was pointed out by someone that I was watching a video of. This seems like a more professional type of assassin or whatever, because with the Tommy Crooks thing, he was some loser. They got his ass right away. Um, with the guy who tried to shoot him through the bushes at the golf course, they got that motherfucker within a day. So if this was some loser or some like just angry leftist, I think they would have captured him by now. So
Nonviolence, that's the way I'd like to see people respond.
Campus, how do you want your supporters to respond, sir?
I think that way. He was an advocate of nonviolence. That's the way I'd like to see people respond. Say it?
Say it.
I did. I spoke to Erica, his wife, and we had a long talk, and she's devastated. She's absolutely devastated, as you can imagine.
Are you concerned?
Have any reporting interrogation behind the Kirk assassination?
I don't know what you're saying.
I didn't either.
When, Mr. President, are you planning to bring both presidents, the president of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, and president of Rwanda?
They're coming soon. They're coming soon. And as you know, I spoke to their foreign ministers. They were here a couple of weeks ago, as you remember. And they'll be coming soon. The presidents are coming very soon.
This week, Mr. President, I witnessed more than 60 people in DRC Congo were killed. There is people affiliated with ISIS. Terrorist groups are taking advantage because of the situation going on because of the war. So what is your word for Congolese people?
Well, we're going to be talking to them. As you know, we are talking to them. It's a very violent place. It's very, very violent. For a long time, it's been going on for 30 years, 35 years even, they say. But we're going to handle it. Thank you.
What do you think about the shooter?
Any reaction on the Russian drone in Poland?
Can't understand.
Mr. President, what do you think about the media that justify the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I think it's terrible. They're going to be ashamed of themselves. It's terrible.
Why haven't they found the shooter yet, Mr. President? Are you concerned that it's been 24 hours?
Well, I hear they're making big progress, and we'll have to see what happens.
Do you have any indication of the shooter's motivation, sir?
I have an indication, yeah, but we'll let you know about that later. Thank you.
You spoke with Uzbekistan president, and this last Sunday you sent greetings to Kazakhstan. UN General.
Not say. I think progress. A person, a great man, great in every way.
Assassin, usually your instincts are always on.
I'd rather not say. I think progress is being made. He's an animal, total animal. And hopefully they'll have him and they'll get him. What he did is disgraceful. Charlie Kirk was a great person, a great man, great in every way, especially with youth. And what he did, what this man did, was disgraceful. So hopefully we'll have him and we will deal with him very appropriately.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Could have been a mistake.
Bolsonaro was just found guilty by the Supreme Court. You've been very clear that you would apply sanctions. Are you thinking
Brazil? I knew him as president. Thank you.
How do you think Israel is attacking? Israel's attacking Doha will affect the hostage deal?
Well, hopefully it won't affect it at all. We want the hostages out, and we want them out soon. Hopefully it won't affect it.
Mr. President, my condolences on the loss of his.
Here at the bottom, shooting at Tampa apartment complex leaves teenager dead, 5 others wounded. Jeez Louise. Brazil Supreme Court
started construction of the new ball.
Votes to convict ex-president Bolsonaro for coup plot. Coup plot. I guess I'm an idiot. All right. Trump takes. Okay. Can't read or talk tonight. Mainly read. Trump takes questions about manhunt for Charlie Kirk. Memories of slain. Should I, is it going to be the same type shit? Let's see.
Not really. I'm really concerned for our country.
Yeah, it's the same one. Okay. Let's see what old Rogie had to say.
Happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
It's fucking awful.
And is he dead?
No, I don't think so.
That's what was just
One of the guys out there just said it was
spoken
confirmed that
in
he's
the
dead.
in the lobby was just.
I was looking. I've been looking. I haven't seen anything that said confirmed.
Whoa.
Joe Rogan's big. Come on, man. I remember, like, yeah. I remember just getting back from lunch with my grandpa and my brothers, and we saw it on the TV, and we were just kind of like, wow, what the hell?
Murder for having a different opinion from somebody else.
Yeah.
Different ideology from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Beliefs that didn't
who
align.
Did it or,
Yeah.
I'm
He's
sorry?
dead?
Yep.
Rest in peace.
According to
Fuck.
Fox News.
Jesus. 27 years old, maybe? 30?
Do they even have a suspect?
I don't know. Well, that's why I don't. I'm literally trying to track it all on Twitter, and it's all.
Fuck. Nobody deserves it. He doesn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that.
So
Charlie Sheen just needs his dick sucked right now.
Were you saying that MSNBC had a crazy take on it?
Mm-hmm.
What was their take?
I mean, I'm literally just reading Twitter, so I didn't see the video. I just saw people talking about tweets of it. I'll pull it up though. Let me see.
Fuck.
And even now, they could have taken it down.
It was a tweet or a video?
I'm doing the show. I'm trying to figure.
Right. No, I understand.
I think they were live on the air, and people clipped what they were talking about. It's not a tweet. It's not on their Twitter account or anything.
So it's someone's hot take.
So, live in the moment.
Yeah, that's a crazy take. Crazy take is that. What was the take that they deserved it?
That's why I didn't want to.
That's a crazy take. What was the take? You're a dumbass. How about that thing? Dumbass.
Dave Portnoy reposted.
You found it? All right, here. Put it.
It's only 10 seconds.
Shooting like
That is a crazy take. What was the take? Smoke another one there, big boy. I need some of that Joe Rogan weed.
this happens.
You can put the headphones on. You can hear
Yeah,
it.
and again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any
How dare you tell Charlie Sheen what to do, Joe?
the full details of this. That we don't know if this was the supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
That's what the crazy thing was.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, if it was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration.
If it was a supporter
What?
shooting their gun off in celebration.
Someone shot their gun off in celebration and killed him.
You shoot celebration guns in the air. Oh, God. Just,
What a crazy take. Like, it might not have been someone assassinating someone for the wrong opinion.
huh.
Fuck.
Well, why does something like that have to be spun?
Their ideology.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's like.
I mean, they want to try to pin it on a Trump supporter with
Of
a
course.
crazy Trump supporter with a gun,
Right,
going
of course.
wacky.
Of course.
We don't know if it was a supporter shooting off a gun in celebration, because you know they do.
Right,
that.
right.
A lot
Yeah.
of folks are just
course, yeah.
constantly out there shooting off guns at large
course.
gatherings in celebration.
Yeah, 4th of July, you can't leave your house. you
What
know?
the fuck?
No, that is that's a wow.
There's going to be a lot of people celebrating this. It's so scary. It's so dangerous too to celebrate or to in any way encourage this kind of behavior from human beings. He's not a violent guy who's talking to people on college campuses. Wasn't even particularly rude. Who's tried to be pretty reasonable with people.
Everything I saw seemed reasonable.
He's a very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
You know, whether you agree with him or don't. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't agree with him on. That's
Sure,
fine. You're allowed to disagree with people without
Right.
celebrating the fact they got shot.
But you can't disrespect his passion.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
what you're supposed to do with a guy like that, if you're opposing him, is debate him.
Right.
Have a conversation where your argument is more compelling than his.
Sure.
That's what people should be celebrating. Discourse. You know, we used to do that.
Do some homework and bring it to the
Do some
table.
homework. Yeah, it's
know?
horrible.
Thanks, Charlie.
It's horrible.
Sheen.
This podcast has been a lot about violence, man.
It has, but
Yeah.
not this kind.
No.
I'm sorry, not something is so in the moment right now from
Yeah.
someone this current
Yeah.
that we see and are you know aware of daily. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those young influencers, right? This time from the right, who is all over social media, always doing these various shows and debating people and talking to people and giving speeches and
sure.
Yeah. No one deserves this, folks. No one that has different opinions. No one deserves that.
No.
This is horrible.
No.
But I know people are going to celebrate it because this is a fucked up time, and people have really fallen into this trap of us against them.
But it's also going to make people not want to be as courageous or not want to be as forthright with the things they believe. It's gonna put people on guard.
It could. It could also could.
It could do the opposite.
Yeah.
I get that, but there's also going to be that sort of
Self-preservation.
ingrained thing now.
You're correct. Yeah.
And you know, and you just go, you know, going through the whole New York thing. I just, you know, sometimes you know, there's a crowd and it's all love. It's all love, and all they want is, you know, is your signature or a photo or this and that. But there's so much of those moments where you're spent looking down. You're looking down the entire time.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody wants to shoot me. I don't think that's kind of out in the world, right?
No.
But it's the type of shit that just lives in the back of one's mind.
Yeah.
Because how could it not?
How could it not?
And
Yeah.
then the thing like today, and you're like, okay, that's why it's in the back of our minds.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's, you know, when we were talking about assassinations earlier, whether it's Kennedy or RFK or, you know, you think of them in the past. You think of them like, you don't, when something happens in the current, like right now with this one with Charlie Kirk, it doesn't seem real.
No.
It seems very surreal.
It does.
It
does.
seems like.
It does.
Yeah, it did. It seemed weird. It almost seemed like, not that he was near as beloved as this person, but it seemed as shocking almost as like when Kobe died. Like, whoa, wait, that happened? It just seemed like as unreal as that almost in the moment.
It's going to take a long time before we reference this as something that happened. Like, you remember he got shot and killed? Oh, yeah. Like, right now, it just doesn't seem real. It seems, it seems so crazy that just, it's not registering.
It's not, no.
She needs a hit of something. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he needs something to get twisted off on.
Is he a friend?
No, I met him once.
Okay.
I met him once at a gun range of all places.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. He was a nice guy when I met him.
Wow.
And they were talking about guns and shootings whenever he got shot too, which is a little weird.
It's a fucked up time. People are so divided in this country. They're so divided, and there's so many people that love it. They love that we're divided, and they profit off that division, and they stoke the fires, and they do it for their own profit, and it's so fucking gross.
See, and this is why, as we're going to discuss a little later, if this was as legit as it seems, and we're going to question the legitimacy and kind of what's going on with this whole thing, but this matters if this was 100% authentic, the way that we think it is and the way that the media is telling us, because if this was contrived in any way by our government or by another government, it automatically means this isn't like, because it's making it seem like, oh my God, we're in a point in this country where people are ready to kill. But if it's like, if this was our government or another government, then really the people are not at that point. But that's what they want us to believe. Oh my God, we're at the point where people are ready to kill. And they want us to almost buy into that and get ramped up to that level. But that might not even be true. This might not have been someone who was on the left and just went unhinged and killed them. It could be our own government doing it. They've done that in the past, and they've done a lot of crooked stuff in the past that they've lied about and done that was damaging to us and certain stuff like that. So we'll get into that a little bit later after this video, but it really becomes important that we know exactly how and why this happened. We'll probably never know, but it does matter.
It's so gross. And to encourage this kind of thing is really one of the most horrific things that you could do after someone dies horribly like this is celebrate.
It
should be a wake up call for everybody. Like, this is nuts. This is nuts.
No, it's unforgivable that to spend things like that, and because the people they're never thinking about is that person's family.
I think they're just no. That's just like default with those. They gaslight you by default.
Right.
So immediately they try to find some reason why whatever the thing is that's in the news is someone else's fault.
Right. Of course.
It's just all gaslighting. And that's what they're paid to do. They're paid propagandists masquerading as the news. So weird. Fuck.
No, it's a dark day.
Yeah. It is. Well, two things is going to happen. Either people are going to realize how fucking insane this is, and we have to have a conversation about being able to have conversations.
Right.
Or it's going to get a lot worse. That's what's scary.
Probably going to get a lot worse because, like I said, people are buying into it and they're not able to have conversations. It's ridiculous. Let me see. I'm trying to find. There was another video I thought I had seen the other day where it had like a bunch of little clips of Charlie Kirk. But let's see if I can find it. Maybe not. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe. Let's see. Let me check one more thing and then we'll move on if I can't find it. Give me one more second. I guess I'm not going to find it. I thought there was a video of him doing a lot of like kind of just not so hot stuff like the one I showed earlier, but I thought there was another one and I don't know if I'm going to find it. Let me, one last ditch effort. Nah, I don't. Anyway, I can't find it. All right, let's finish this video up, and then
Scary.
we'll get into kind of what happened, some weird video, and kind of what we think, and ask some questions.
This could spark off some kind of a real violent conflict. You know, that guy had a lot of fans.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people loved that guy.
Yeah, I know.
And if they find out that he got killed for something that they vehemently oppose in the first place, it could send people over the edge.
It could. It could, yeah. There's always that flashpoint moment in any, you know, in previous times like this.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
There's always that tipping point moment.
Like the Rodney King film.
Yep.
Right? Something.
Yep.
Just like that's it.
Yeah. You know, this also highlights just a little bit of perspective, like how lucky Trump was.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And it's just like Charlie didn't get the benefit of a head turn or a couple of microns or millimeters or, you know? And it's just like, wow, who decides that?
Yeah.
You know, that is just, there's this
The
thing.
Trump thing is bananas.
Yeah. But they
then
talk
just
about.
clips his ear.
Yeah. Because he makes a reference to something.
Yeah.
And then it's just,
And then it clips his ear, where if he didn't turn his head, he'd be dead. And it would have been on live on CNN.
Yeah. Sure. All right, give me a second. I'm going to get something to drink. And then we'll kind of go into, like I said, breaking down what happened, some weird video footage, and just kind of ask some questions of like, why would this happen? What really happened? And etc. So give me a second. Then we'll we probably got another 20-ish minutes maybe, kind of round out the stream. And if y'all have any comments or thoughts or anything y'all have noticed that didn't seem quite right or added up, y'all get in the comments and let me know. And yeah, I appreciate anyone who tuned in tonight. But yeah, let me get a drink. I'll come back and we'll kind of finish up here. All right. Let's see what this video has to show us. No sound. Look at this guy behind him. Looks like they're signaling. Charlie Kirk wipes his nose. This guy pulls his hat and then either I can't tell what he does if he pulls his ear or touches his nose, but I think he like pulls his ear or something. Almost like they're signaling to a gunman. Watch. See that guy? Watch the guy behind Kirk. He does a thing with his ear, then he does his hat, then he does his hat, then his ear, I guess. Ear, then hat. That's so weird. This video is slowing it down and playing it backwards. I can't tell which he does first, but that guy is doing like a little signal. That's kind of weird. Let's watch this. No sound as well. Now watch. There's a dot on his shirt, and then it moves up to his neck. See that dot? It's straight above the R and the F. I guess that's his mic, or part of his mic potentially. But when he gets shot, you see it move? That dot moves. And then it moves onto his neck, kind of. And then it's weird because he moves and the dot like stays. It doesn't move with his neck. It's like a split second. You can see it's here, and then he moves, and then it moves with him. It's almost like, what the heck? Right there. Right there. It's like right there, and then he moves, and then it starts to move with him. It's like, whoa. And then, if you'll notice, the F on his shirt is gone. Now. Look, where does the F on his shirt? Where is it? It's there, and then it's gone. Right there, it's gone. Gone. And his ring moves from his ring finger to his pinky at some point. Watch. Look at his ring. I know it's not very good quality, but look at that. Look at the ring now. It's all the way on his pinky. That's a little weird. Let's see if we have another video that's a little better quality. I don't think we're going to get it. Oh, let's see if what is volume on this. Yeah, let's see what this guy has to say.
Guys, I want you to watch this and let me know what you think. This guy makes some very interesting signals right before Charlie shot, seconds before he shot.
Yeah.
Grabs the hat, and then I think he grabs his ear as well. Now, this could be a coincidence, but if he's signaling for someone to do something, this would be the way. And then you see the guy come in from the back and kind of tap his shoulder right before this happens. Right before it happens.
He taps Charlie, and then he taps his own
Now,
arm.
is this just a coincidence
So weird.
or something else going on? Again, this doesn't guarantee anything, but if I was investigating this, I would certainly be questioning this man right here and perhaps the guy that tapped him on the shoulder seconds before he was shot. Let me know if you think that this is just some coincidence or if there's something deeper going on here, if this was some sort of...
It's really weird. I wish I could find a better video, but there's definitely videos out there. Go and try to find them if you really want to, where it shows him from the front and it shows the F on his shirt disappearing might be just like bad camera, or like his shirt waves and groups up and you can't see it. But the way the blood comes out looks weird. The way from that other one that the dot seems to like move to a different spot on his skin. And then kind of how his ring seems to go from his ring finger down to his thing. It almost looks like it could be AI generated, or altered. Could be wrong, but that's kind of the vibes I'm getting. So let's watch this one more time. Look at his ring finger, the F on his shirt, and then also where the hole in his neck seems to move at one point. Right there. No, maybe it'll happen when it goes slower. Right there. It's like right when he goes up and then starts to slump over, it like doesn't move. It looks like the spot on his neck moves. It could just be like the body shock and just like, you know, the ring moving to his pinky finger is real weird though. Okay. I guess that's all I really have. The other thing is too, I think I already mentioned it, but because the guy wasn't caught, still hasn't been caught, it makes it seem like it's more of a professional thing than just some enraged leftist. Uh, so if it is, what's up with that? Um, I don't know. It's definitely interesting timing with this, with that girl getting stabbed like less than a week ago, and seems to really be like a kind of a try to get the racial tensions rising again and that sort of thing. So that's unfortunate, but don't have a lot more to say about this. Maybe more news will come out as it goes, but yeah, not a lot to say. One other take I had, for the people that are enjoying this or celebrating it, whatever, a lot of those people seem to be the same types of people, or just the same exact people that were mad, uh, either were upset when George Floyd died or were upset at people that were making fun of it, and rightly so. But if you were either upset when George Floyd died or you were upset at people that were making fun of it, but you're having a ball now, the shoe is now on the other foot, or vice versa. And if it's not okay, neither one of them are okay. It's not okay for. It wasn't okay for George Floyd to have a knee on his neck for 5 or 10 minutes and die, and it's not okay for this guy to die just for speaking his mind. So both things were wrong, and people don't like when it happens to someone they like, but when it happens to someone they don't like or they don't care about, it's fine. So, um, an eye for an eye, everyone's gonna be blind, type shit. So we all need to try to lean in the direction of more positive shit, more discussion, more figuring shit out, and not beating people down and killing people, but lifting people up and trying to heal people. And it sounds a little cheesy and gay, but that it's actually easy in this world to be more negative and lame and tear people down and tear stuff down and be destructive. It's harder to do the right thing, and personally, I want to do what's hard to do and what's like challenging. So, which is the right thing. And I think that's where I'll end it. Um, I never was a huge fan of Charlie Kirk, but it's the biggest thing on right now, and it's definitely important to talk about it and be able to handle it with sensitivity, but also be able to question things. And just because something is sensitive doesn't mean we don't need the answers, and we don't just and because it's sensitive, it's that much more important that we have the real answers of what happened. If this is not a crazy leftist, that maybe this could be something that brings us all together instead of it tearing us more apart. How about that? So, catch me outside. How about that? But anyway, I don't know. I just said that because I said how about that. But anyway, I think that's the stream for the night. If y'all watch the rebroadcast, y'all let me know what y'all thought of kind of anything I laid out here, or if y'all had anything that I didn't mention here that you had seen somewhere else, or if you had thought anything differently, or kind of had a different perspective, or something to challenge what I said here. Leave a comment. Love to get your discussion, or input rather, and kind of lead to a discussion. So yeah. We'll see if any more details come out that kind of add anything that would lead to more discussion or new details. We'll maybe talk about this in a future stream in a day or two. But if not, we'll kind of talk about other stuff and whatever. But yeah, hopefully, what's today? Thursday. Hopefully, I'll have another stream for y'all Saturday or Sunday. So want to kind of get back in the rhythm of streaming for y'all and doing the newscast type of things. So get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think if y'all see the rebroadcast. And until next time, I'm LG from Where There's Smoke. I'm out.